Welcome back, everyone. We're go. There we go. Where's emotional support Pikachu? There he is. Thank you. Welcome back to John Sunday as we get this all fixed up. There we go. You were getting. This is like, hey, look, it's the stream desk. You got a behind the scenes look. Well, there we go. There you go. We're fixing our camera. There you can see emotional support Pikachu just like staying calm, and I'm like trying to stall. We fixed. There we're good. There we go. All right, welcome back. This is round 5. Also, thank you guys who were watching on stream. I see a few people commenting. I see my friend commenting, Matthew. Shout out to you. Yeah. But no, it's a great way to play Pokemon and learn because there's so many really good strategies, so many unique ideas, and if you really are into like looking into Pokemon, if this is your first time watching or whatever, or your friend like, hey, go watch this stream because I'm gonna be in it, like I do, then it's a really good way to learn the strategies and kind of see how this game is such a mind game. That's why I love it. It is just the epitome of mind games, a strategy video. It is like the pinnacle of that because so much thinking, and it really is a good. And this is round 5, so. What's intense about this is we are going to see 2 players who've gone 2-2 today, 2 wins, 2 losses. Whoever wins has still a shot at top 8. Whoever loses, going to be on the road for today. We got Nicholas versus Tyler. Both are pretty regular here at our Gym Challenge Sundays, but it's intense because they both, like I said, whoever wins this has a chance of going through. They're getting set up right now. Anything you want to say, emotional support Pikachu? Wise words. All right, well, as I get set up, we got some really interesting Pokemon. I have the team sheets right this time, but we're gonna see once again, we're gonna see Perish, Trap quite a bit today, but and here you're gonna go ahead and take a look on the screen as everyone is getting set up. But we're gonna see Perish, Trap. This time it's gonna have Screamtail though, which we've seen a lot of Flutter Mains with it. Screamtail not as common yeah, but we're also gonna see some, it feels like what we used to see in Series 1. We're gonna see this, which I think is actually going to be really nice with all the paradoxes. That's kind of trying to resurgence because of the paradoxes. But the Azumarill, Gardevoir, Grimmsnarl. Also, this is Mono Fairy. I just realized this is a Mono Fairy team. It looked so balanced on paper. I think it's the first time we've actually seen a Mono type team on stream in a long time, at least. While we have so on the left is Nicholas, who's running Grimmsnarl, Flutter Mane, Iron Valiant, Azumarill, Gardevoir, and Florges. While Tyler is on the right running Amoonguss, Kingambit, Gothitelle, Screamtail, Volcarona, and Palafin. And we've seen these players just kind of do really well. This is gonna be a really interesting matchup. Florges with those choice specs, and you know Symbiosis is in play. And what do you know? Flare Mane's also in play. What's interesting too, though, is that it's really solid for, and obviously that or specifically that Flare Mane could also work with Valiant, but Valiant is a attacker on this set, so definitely there just for that Flutter Mane. Okay. Well, Tyler's team is very much a it relies a lot on Perish Song with Screamtail. However, it does have options without Perish Song. You have that Gothitelle, which is just really good even if you don't go for Trap or Perish Trap. But then Kingambit, Volcarona, which has been kind of, with Quiver Dance, a bit of an underrated attacker, and Palafin, which are just very heavy attackers. But we are going to see that Perish Trap lead with that Screamtail and Gothitelle versus that, oh, here we go, Florges, Symbiosis, Booster Energy, Choice Specs, Flutter Mane. And that is a mouthful, but it is something that is going to happen. We're going to see Screamtail go for its speed boost here. Okay, so here, if you're Tyler, you're thinking, okay, that Flutter Mane's a ginormous threat for a reason. 1, you have that option to switch out, and you get to keep your specs. So, yeah, that's a huge threat. Perish. Florges isn't necessarily a threat. Flutter Mane has an attack on Gothitelle. That's great. It also has a super effective move on Screamtail too. That's great. If you're Tyler, you really gotta swap or plan for this, because this Shadow insane amount, and I mean an insane amount where yeah, that Gothitelle cannot activate anything right now. We're going into Kingambit here. That's the right call. That is the right call. Just gotta hope that Shadow Ball go went onto that Gothitelle spot. Oh, we're gonna take a look here at Terra. If this is I was gonna say, if this is a Scream Tail to normal, which we know it has, yeah, that's wise, really wise, because if that Flutter is now scarfed onto Shadow Ball, yeah, or specs onto Shadow Ball, yeah, which it is now. Gambit takes a hefty amount, but it's resistant. Play Rough gets Flutter Mane now into a position where it knocks out. That was the right call on Tyler's side, because that neither of these two can really do a ton, except, I mean, that Flutter just did a lot, but that King Gambit obviously threatens it. But at this point, I think that if you're Nicholas, you're like, okay, time to switch out this Flutter Mane, because it's not gonna do much and will go down. Scream Tail, at this point, I think Gambit will probably switch out, and Scream Tail will go for the hit on Flutter Mane. I think this is a good time to activate that, other way around. I think Scream Tail might go for the hit onto the Flutter Mane and switch Gambit out into Gothitelle. You could also, if you switch out that Gambit, go for that Perish Trap right there. But yeah, you really gotta switch Flutter Mane out. And this is now, if Tyler can see that swap incoming, this is the perfect time for Perish Trap. Osmero comes on in. There's that Gambit switch out. Yeah, I'm guessing that's gonna go to Gothitelle. And there it is. Yep, this is Perish Trap time. And you're able to get your first turn right away. There. Yeah, really, really, really wise Terra there from Tyler. That pretty much saved that Flutter Mane from becoming an issue. Moonblast still doing a lot on Florges, or from Florges onto that Gothitelle, but it's in a position now where it's a really good position. Yeah, I think here it's just Perish Stall, right? So 3 turns, then 2 turns, 1 turn. So there's 2 turns on the next one. I think here just protect X2, attack, protect X2. You know, it's the standard. The thing is that Gothitelle keeps getting targeted, so you really gotta like help that out. It's now down to, I believe, I think it was around 30%, which is probably in range for Florges to knock it out. And once Gothitelle goes down, you could switch out, and then after that, yes, switching Scream Tail out is the right call. If you have anything, I was gonna say Amoonguss would be best, but even Gambit would still be solid. But Amoonguss would be best because you can redirect, right? So that fake out for Osmero. Oh, I'm not sure that was necessarily the right call here, because that Moonblast, okay, does connect with the Amoonguss. Okay, I thought that Moonblast was going straight to that Gothitelle to get rid of it, but no, it goes with the Amoonguss, and it's gonna work really well. Wow, okay, well, yeah, that, because, like, that, okay, Gothitelle's, like, in the green. Yeah, no, so never mind, that Moonblast would not have mattered. Yeah, at this point, it's pretty simple. You could go for, oh, yeah, you could go for Pollen Puff without Amoonguss, or just protect Gothitelle for the next turn and then switch it. I mean, there's a couple options. Basically, we keep that Gothitelle alive, right? Okay. Yeah, this is interesting. This is gonna be really interesting. There's an Azumarill going for Terra Fire. That may be what is, Gothitelle gonna protect this turn. Yeah, I think, yeah, I think it's just the right call. Pollen Puff is gonna happen, but Florges' side. I think Pollen Puff is a smart idea too, to keep Gothitelle up, but like, or actually, it goes onto the Gothitelle here, which is ironic because I was thinking that Amoonguss would be really, it may be wise, but definitely want to protect and stall. That Terra Blast is gonna just, oh, there we go. That Terra Blast is just going to knock out that Amoonguss. It is fainted and gone. So Tyler's still in a really good position here. At this point, I'd say you just go ahead and bring out that Scream Tail protect. And then you kind of have to, but here's the thing, you could do that, or personally, I'd bring out, okay, Scream. I would have brought out King Gambit, I think, it's just to make sure, like, okay. Because obviously the Gothitelle slot, you could A, sacrifice it, or switch, right? And I personally would have just kept the, I would have personally just kept the Gothitelle in, knowing that, like, with King Gambit, right? So okay, so just gonna sacrifice Gothitelle here. So Scream Tail's gonna go, and protect itself, which is not bad. Pollen Puff, it's gonna hit Gothitelle. It's not really gonna matter at this point. I mean, and Gothitelle's gonna have to rocket there. Yeah. So at this point, we're just waiting for the Perish to activate Psychic. Goes on. It's not really gonna matter. Like I said, this is just Perish at this point. Terra Blast, yeah, Gothitelle can go down. Like, whatever. Yeah, it's a smart strategy, honestly. I mean, instead of that way you still get your Gambit out. Again, you could have brought in the Gambit and protected and then gone for the switch out, but so that way both your Gothitelle lives. But if you don't feel like you need Gothitelle anymore and you'd rather just have Scream Tail and Gambit, then yeah, it's best to just go Honestly, this is an interesting position, right? So Tyler's in a really solid position, commanded this game beautifully. They're doing really good at that, but here's where they're gonna at least have a little trouble. Fluttermane, and then the last one, it's Iron Valiant, right? Good news, both of them weak to steel. Bad news, you have a fighting type and King Gambit's really fragile. Good news though, Sucker Punch on Fluttermane is going to definitely KO because it does not have well, first off, it is choice punch, so you're going to be able to Sucker Punch and get rid of the Fluttermane no matter what. So it is basically Scream Tail versus Iron Valiant. Bad news, Iron Valiant has close combat. Those things, one of those matches. Sucker Punch goes for Fluttermane. I think at this point, it's going to come down to how bulky the Scream Tail and how much it does. Because I'm going to go. The good news is also again close combat. It actually goes onto the Scream Tail. Oh, that Scream Tail lives it with about 20, maybe 15 HP percentage left, and the special defense and defense drop is going to be crucial because that play rough knocks it down to focus sash. After that, it's this game's Tyler's. There's nothing at this point. There's nothing that this Valiant can do. Tyler just did a really wonderful job there commanding the Perish Trap. And the close combat, it's not really gonna matter, you just Sucker Punch and that's gonna be able to knock out the Iron Valiant. So that means Tyler takes game one. Alright, take a deep breath. Yeah, that was really smart. At that point, you definitely didn't need the Goth, really, so it was wise to just sacrifice it. But that's what the power of Perish, right? It trapped that Azumarill and Floor just so well. And that allowed... And the nice thing, though, for Tyler is how fragile Iron Valiant was and how fragile Fluttermane was, and especially getting that player up on Fluttermane right away. That was really, really useful in the first part of the game because that allowed the Sucker Punch to knock out, right? So I think here, if you're Nicholas, kind of play around that, right? Fluttermane, great strategy. I personally don't think that because of Saw, but at the same time, what else are you going to bring in, right? Gardevoir. Also, it's really cool to see Gardevoir and Iron Valiant. That just to me is cool because and any of the Gallade, Gardevoir, Valiant, all super cool Pokemon. But it's so rare when you get to use like a version of the Paradox with the actual Paradox, right? Like the original form of the Paradox with the actual Paradox, like Volcarona and Screamtail and Iron Moth. That could also happen. It's just cool. Yeah, I think here you look at what Gardevoir. It's choice scarf. You can't really do that much. It's the same thing that Iron Valiant. In this case, we don't have a sash. You can't really switch it up. And then Grimmsnarl is screens, right? So unfortunately for Nicholas, even though that Iron Valiant was not really the best in that matchup, I think it's still the best bet. It's because it can do so much. It's so fragile when you look at, and especially against Screamtail player up, right? So you really gotta worry about Perish. While Tyler's team can pretty much do the same thing, but we're gonna see Palafin and Gambit, which are not the same thing. Potentially no Perish at all. Just hyper offense. We're actually going to see screens come out here with Grim, and we are going to see that Fluttermane. So I think here, it's kind of interesting, right? So we got Palafin, right? That's going to switch, too, that is the question. And I think at this point, like, with King Gambit on the field, that Fluttermane should be feeling some pressure, right? King Gambit just hits this team so hard. It is a mono fairy team, which means all Pokemon are fairy type. And the good news is, it also means all but one are weak to steel. So Gambit is just such a great option here. Because you could go for Iron Head or whatever, destroy, and then Sucker Punch whatever you need. It doesn't get KO'd. But we are going to see a Terra Astral right off the bat. That's going to be that Palafin, actually. Going to go for Terra Water. I'm guessing this is going to double up on that Fluttermane to get rid of it here. Hoping that Terra Water is just going to be enough to get rid of that. Fake out going on the Grimmsnarl. Ooh, that was the right call there. That punch. This may just be enough to knock out Fluttermane. I mean, when you really think about it. Not quite. Yeah, I was probably going to go for the Sucker Punch as well, and it looks like it was there. The Dazzling Gleam with the Choice Specs, I'm sorry, not Choice Specs, with the Booster Energy is solid, but at this point, really good swap for Tyler. You just go for the same thing. You Jet Punch again onto the Fluttermane, and you just go for Iron Head onto the Grimmsnarl. Grimmsnarl here, gotta set up those screens. Gotta save those screens. And if Fluttermane, I think here, you gotta swap it. There's nothing you can do here. I think we saw that Fluttermane switch. Yeah, there's nothing you can do here. It dies. It goes down unless you... So, Azumarill coming out in place of that Fluttermane. Definitely gonna... And Palafin gonna swap out too, so now it is activating that Zero to Hero mode. Going into Volcarona, yeah, it looks like this is it's not Perish. We can guarantee it's not Perish Trap, but if we still have Perish Song in play with Screamtail. But there's that Reflect coming out, which is going to... Oh, the Sucker Punch, just in case that Flutter Mane stayed in play. Volcarona in a worse position, because Ozumir is on the field, can go for quite a bit. Because Volcarona, we know, the Struggle Bug, not Giga Drain, so it can't really touch it. I wouldn't even be surprised to see a switch back into Palafin. That's a really safe switch, in my opinion. There's not much you can do here. And yeah, there's that Volcarona switch. Let's take a look and see if it is Palafin here. There's Amoonguss. It's another very safe position as well. If you're not going to go for Palafin, why not go for potential Spores in the direction? While Gambit goes for the Protect. Very wise Protect there. I think Tyler's playing this really, really beautifully here. The screens are going to be an issue, though. However, the nice thing is you have King Gambit, which hits so much. The only thing it doesn't hit super effectively is Azumarill. And that Azumarill could just, you know, it's not Terra Grass, and therefore it is susceptible to Spore. So that is something that you really want to bring here, but you're gonna like have to Terra Fire Azumarill if you want to get rid of Amoonguss. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see that. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised because if you don't Terra Fire, it's gonna be a really tough matchup here. This Grimmsnarl can't really do much. That's not the best you can do. You can't really switch out either, or that's gonna be really scary going against King Gambit. I mean, King Gambit also, you know, we saw the Terra Water, right? So, the Terra, you know, solid, but the switch out's not bad. It's gonna go on into that Palafin here, which now is Terra Watered as well, so it's gonna have extra boost there. Zero to Hero going into play. There's the False Surrender onto the Amoonguss. It does actually quite solid. Rocky Helmet's gonna damage that Grimmsnarl, but they're like, what, 30%? Play Rough gets Palafin pretty low. I have to admit, did not expect it to do that much damage. But now Palafin's still in a really brilliant position. Just go ahead and Wave Crash if you want, if you feel like sacrificing it. Or, looks like I had, sorry. Yeah, I think Wave Crash, yeah, I think it's that, or honestly, Jet Punch. I think Jet Punch is a safer bet, right? Jet Punch onto the Grimmsnarl, call it. Amoonguss can go for Rage Powder. Or honestly, Spore. Oh, we're gonna see Palafin switch out. That's actually not a bad option either. We're gonna see go in now that the Azumarill is in a good position. You could just Rage Powder. King Gambit can do whatever. We're not actually gonna see Rage Powder. I wouldn't even actually Pollen Puff would be a really smart strategy here too. False Surrender going on to the Dark type. Yeah, that's not gonna be much. Now we're gonna see Pollen Puff. Yeah, that's smart. That's really another really smart play there. Yeah, Palafin, best to save it for the back when it can just cripple the weaker Pokemon. King Gambit just absolutely spot right. To just knock out Grimmsnarl. I think right now, yeah, here's the thing, and this is the nice thing. If you're Tyler, you're like, okay, this Azumarill could definitely Terra Fire, right? Why not say Palafin for that? So I think, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Amoonguss Rage Powder, but King Gambit goes for the knockout onto Grimmsnarl. At this point, and unfortunately for this Azumarill, it is asleep, right? It's gonna stay asleep for at least it got its necessary sleep turn, so now it could wake up at any point. But sleep luck is very unfortunate. So we are gonna see a Terra though. That Terra from I'm guessing the Azumarill here. Yeah, it has to be correct. Yeah, so it is going to Terra Fire, and they're also susceptible to some Jet Punches from Palafin. So again, this Amoonguss just not. I'm sorry, this Azumarill just not getting the best luck because of Amoonguss and Palafin. But that Rage Powder is exactly what you needed to do for your Tyler. There's no way, like, you had to go for that. But Azumarill gonna wake up, so that's the luck that Nicholas needed. That Terra Blast gonna connect with the Amoonguss here, and it should pick up that knockout. I believe we saw it in the last matchup. Yeah. So that is exactly what needed to happen. If you're Nicholas. Now you're in, but the Iron Head is gonna pick up the knockout with Flare Mane. It's fine. It's low health anyways. That was exactly what needed to happen. And not only is that going to happen, but Nicholas can now free to bring back the Grimmsnarl, go for the Fake Out, and Terra Blast onto that King Gambit. The only thing you gotta watch out for is that, right? Or better yet, Fake Out Palafin, right? It's low enough. It's probably Fake Out Rain. Considering that, yeah, I'd say that's Fake Out Rain. I would Fake Out Palafin, and honestly, you could go for just Terra Fire and King Gambit. You could swap King Gambit. I'm not sure that. I think Terra Fire would have been a nice play there, but because King Gambit is Fire type or is weak to Fire type, so Palafin gonna protect. That was the smart call for Palafin, I'll tell you that. But I don't know. King Gambit, okay, dual protect. So for each switcher, that's smart. I know you're kind of, in this case, banking on that Palafin to go down. Here's my thoughts. This is going to be a double. It's a match, right? It's just one of those 50-50 matches. If Valiant gets double priority, it's going down. Gambit, it just does so much onto it. That punch will do a lot with that Terra Water. If Valiant protects, then Tyler's going to lose Palafin most likely, and then it's the match for Nicholas. So it's really close. Gambit going to switch out. Yeah, this is one of, like I said, it's one of those 50-50 matches, right? Volcarona coming in. Volcarona still can do quite a bit. Not too much on Azumarill though. Close combat. Oh, on the Volcarona, gonna resist and drop the defenses. Yeah, I mean this Palafin is probably going down, but not without a wave crash. Full power wave crash. I'm right onto that. And Valiant brings it down. Yeah, the wave crash there, it was powerful. Okay, I still think Nicholas is in a solid position because you do have Azumarill with Terra Fire in the back, and that's just not, I mean... Oh, False Surrender does like a 50% and burns the Grim. So that's not necessarily... I mean, the burn may not matter because False Surrender just does, yeah, like, there you go. It's enough where Volcarona will go down this next turn. Oh, it's gonna be really close, honestly. It's gonna be a really quite a close matchup. I do think this is gonna come down to Azumarill. I mean, King Gambit has a really safe bet here right now because it can go for a Sucker Punch on the Iron Valiant, and if it goes for Protect, then Volcarona can do some solid damage onto that Grimmsnarl, but it really isn't gonna matter at the end of the day. I think if I were Nicholas, I would just switch. I think that's the right call because then. I think Nicholas can pull this one off still. I feel like Nicholas has it's like a really close map because King Gambit's so good. It has everything to beat all of them, but that Azumarill, right? But that's what, and Volcarona could go for this Quiver Dance here, but I feel like that would, like, it's a risky play, but Quiver Dance, Volcarona, plus Kowtow Cleave maybe take that up for a while. But the question is Tyler going to expect that, or is Tyler going to think that? It's, the Volcarona's going to protect it. Possibly saving itself from that, and there's the Sucker Punch. Yeah, possibly saving itself from the Grimmsnarl False Surrender here, which it will go for onto that Volcarona. I know it was a risk like that Quiver Dance, but I just don't see any way where Volcarona didn't get that Quiver Dance off. Azumarill's in a spot where it can pretty much live a Kowtow Cleave. You get the leftovers, but the False Surrender is probably going to activate. At this point, yeah, you really just... oh, but that Reflect may come in handy. That Reflect Flare Off may come in handy for Tyler, because that may be the deciding factor for Kowtow Cleave. I still think Azumarill's going to be bulky enough to live it, and if you could just Terra Blast on King Gambit, then, like, that'll do some solid damage, but... yeah, I think the Kowtow Cleave's going to come up, and an obvious Reflect here. But we're going to see a switch back into Iron Valiance. The tough part is, like... it's just Sucker Punch plays, right? Where do you switch? When do you protect? Volcarona goes for another, tries to double protect, doesn't activate it though. Grimmsnarl goes for Reflect. Yeah, you're kind of sacrificing Valiant here, aren't you? Because we obviously know it's not Sucker Punch, it's a Kowtow Cleave, which is going to knock out. I mean, you kind of have to sacrifice Valiant, right? You have no choice. It's in the position where it's at 1 HP and you have Sucker Punch on the other side. There's not, like, at that point, you could just spam Sucker Punch. So this Azumarill, but going for the stall turn right there, it allowed that Reflect to activate, and that's what was needed most importantly. So now Azumarill can come in, go for some Terra Blasts, but the question is, will the Kowtow Cleave plus Sucker Punch combo be enough to knock out that Azumarill? And I think right now, if you're like False Surrender, you gotta just do that double up on. You gotta hit that. You can hit Volcarona. Volcarona can't really do too much, but it is going to be able to go for like a Heat Wave or a Struggle Bug, which Struggle Bug is not going to really... there's a Heat Wave, which is the better option. It does just chips a little bit. False Surrender does pick up the knockout of Volcarona, so now it is King Gambit versus these two. And I told you, King Gambit has what it needs to do. He has the ability to do what it needs to do, but the question is, can it survive this Terra Blast, and how much is Sucker Punch plus Kowtow Cleave going to do? And that Terra Blast does a good considerable amount. This is going to be a really close matchup. Kowtow Cleave goes first before that Sucker Punch. I think with the Reflect, that Sucker Punch is not going to do enough. I think that may have been the deciding factor. I don't know. You have a couple options. You have Aqua Jet. I think Aqua Jet's probably... will they Sucker Punch? It's not either. It's another Kowtow. The Aqua Jet will go first. King Gambit goes for Protect. I mean, at this point, you gotta just stall out Reflect turns, right? Because, again, I said it last time, I don't think Sucker Punch is gonna be enough for Azumarill to KO here. So, and then after that, it's just 2 false surrenders. So you not only gotta stall out the Reflect turns, but you gotta stall out that burn on Grimmsnarl, because that's your way of knocking it out. It's a really close matchup. Nicholas has, like... Nicholas has the... Just because we saw Kowtow Cleave do just above half. Oh, it may come down to a roll if it's a Sucker Punch, but then false surrender. Yeah, there's the awkward hit, so it's not a Sucker Punch, and that's gonna pick up the knockout. Nicholas takes game number 2. What a match! I mean, this is one where, like, it could have gone either way. It really just depended on potentially a roll, potentially Sucker Punch. When do you Sucker Punch? When do you not Sucker Punch? When do you Kowtow Cleave? What do I sacrifice my Valiant? There's so many, like, little one-on-one calls where it was just like, what do you do now? Like, there's so many options where there was like 3 different variants of the way the move can be played, that having it go the way it did, it was really good for Nicholas. I mean, he played it very well, positioned himself in a spot where, yeah, I'm going to sacrifice my Valiant just so I can make sure I get my Reflect up. And that Reflect mattered, as we saw there, because if it did not Reflect, that Terrifier Azumarill would not have lived, or it probably wouldn't have lived to Kowtow Cleave. It would have, but it definitely would have lived to Kowtow plus Sucker Punch. So that was an absolute amazing play there to set that Reflect back up. I think here, now it's tough, because on one hand, if you're Nicholas, you're like, okay, cool, that worked. But now they're going to expect Grimmsnarl, and Grimmsnarl has a giant target on its back, right? So I think Tyler here is... I don't know. Personally, I think going Perish Trap worked. You know, and the only thing you got to worry about is obviously that is that Flutter Mane. But you saw how much that Screamtail did, right? It did just like 75. I think it did like not 75, but more like 60. It did over half. So you don't really have to worry about it, and then you can Terra Stroll as well, right? If you need. So I think there's a lot of really potential options. You can go for Palafin, you can go for Perish Trap, you can go for so many things. But yeah, I think we're gonna see that floor just come back out, which, if that is the case, and Tyler did not go Perish Trap, that may work better. I feel like floor just worked better without Perish. Because yeah, and we're gonna see. That's kind of what I was thinking that lead would be with Palafin and Screamtail. It allows for that Perish Trap to be activated, but we are gonna see that Choice Specs. So I think the Choice Specs plus Photosynthesis boost, right? So you get the Specs boost and you get the speed. So I think, and we're also gonna see speed for Screamtail here. So I think right now, honestly, you gotta Terra Normal. You gotta Terra Normal that Screamtail. It's just threatened by too much. Like, there's a Flutter Mane can do solid, but you definitely gotta just kind of ensure your safety. Now the option is, do I go for a double up on this Flutter Mane? Do I go for a Jet Punch plus a Play Rough? That should be actually enough. Even if Palafin isn't into its big hero mode, you know, it still can knock out that Flutter Mane. Then you gotta watch out for Florges, because Florges did quite a bit with Moonblast. I think a lot of people underestimate how powerful Florges is. It's got a really high special attack stat. It can still deal quite a bit of damage, but like Sylveon and a lot of the other fairy types, Flutter Mane, it is just physically weak, which is why I think it hasn't seen too much use. But it's got a lot more use thanks to the paradoxes in that item. Yeah, there's that Terra Normal on Screamtail. There's no way that thing is going to live a Shadow Ball. You have to go for it. Now it kind of forces Flutter Mane into going into mind games. Do I go for the Shadow Ball? Do I not? Yeah, doubling up here. That Jet Punch with a crit did a lot of damage on that Flutter Mane. Flutter Mane went for that Dazzling Gleam, expected that Terra Normal, but I don't think it's good. Rain Dance coming out. Okay. That's interesting. And Moonblast gonna go ahead and pick up the Palafin knockout here. Okay. That Rain Dance is interesting. I don't know if that was the right call. We're gonna see King Gambit now. I don't think this is Perish Trap. I think this is just Screamtail for support now. Because otherwise I think we would have seen potential Perish. I mean, maybe after the Flutter Mane goes down, but then you could have faked out if you had Gothita, you could fake out the floor just and then just gone for the attack on Flutter Mane, right? And then you could have set up Perish Song. So I think here, I would probably switch out Scream Tail. I feel like if I was Tyler, I would swap the Scream Tail, possibly go into Gothitail, Sucker Punch on Flutter Mane because you know Flutter Mane isn't going to do much, and then once Gothitail's in play, you can go for just like fake out, bring back your Scream Tail, right? You can also go for, if you're with a Gambit in play, you could go for the fake out on that, or just gets rid of it. I think the one thing I will say this, that Rain Dance does help quite a bit for a potential Azumarill. Not for the water, obviously, but it does neutralize the weakness on King Gambit of its fire type. And we're gonna see Iron Valiant come on out. Player up from Scream Tail goes up there. And there is the Moonblast. And we did see a Sucker Punch in the King Gambit, by the way. That critical hit may also come into play. Yeah, now you're on a tough spot with King Gambit. Oh, man. Nicholas is rocking this matchup right now. Two things weak to fighting here. So Valiant is smiling very much. King Gambit definitely switching. I'm guessing it's going to go on into Gothitail here. It's Perish time. It's Perish time. It's going to be a Perish Trap. And you're going to have to sacrifice one of them, though, because you lost your Palafin. Valiant gonna go for the Protect. I think that's kind of wise, actually. Scream Tail went for Play Rough onto the Valiant. Oh, I was totally expecting a Perish Trap activation, but that Moonblast is gonna go ahead and connect with Forge onto the Gothitail. Oh, now I don't. Oh, I really expected that Perish Trap. I think that Perish Trap was what needed to happen, because now you just get a free close combat on Scream Tail, and it could fake out on a Valiant. You could still set up the Perish Trap, but you get Moonblasted, and you have to waste it. Yeah, I don't know. I think of Valiant flinches, which is fine, but a free Moonblast before just, yeah, that's scary. I mean, the Berry proc is definitely what needed to happen. Definitely what needed to happen, but you may be sacrificing your King Gambit just to get this Perish up. Yeah, it's mind games again. Tyler still has a chance, but I think Nicholas is in the better position because Tyler can go for a couple other things, right? Tyler has the opportunity here to sacrifice one of their Pokemon just to get that King Gambit into a favorable position. And if King Gambit's in a favorable position, then you have that potential to just sweep the rest of the team, but you need to support it in every way possible. I think this is going to be a double Protect here. I'd be very surprised if it's not. No, it's a Play Rough onto the Iron Valiant. Yeah, I don't know there. I mean, if you want your Scream Tail down, you gotta get your Scream Tail down. That's it. And at this point, good news is Gothitail's still in, so you can't switch out. So I believe that, or just it goes for Pollen Puff onto the Gothitail slot, trying to hit the Gothitail. Okay, so you're in an interesting position, right? This Gothitail is heavily threatened. I think right now, and with King Gambit, it's, yeah. That we saw it get hit with a Moonblast earlier that I believe was a critical hit. You're probably going to go down to another move, based on how much damage it did. You have to Sucker Punch the Valiant. You have to go for Gothitail, go for a Psychic Come forward just in the hope that you live. There's one more turn of Perish, and then the obvious Protect turn, which is kind of a problem. Yeah. Iron Valiant gonna go for Protect. Okay. I think they're hoping they can get rid of Gothitail here. It went for a double Protect, does not do it. We're going to see Sucker. Yeah, King Gambit go for Sucker Punch on the Valiant. That was kind of expected. Pollen Puff. That is definitely gonna be enough. I think this game is pretty much over. Yeah, the good news is you still have Perish Trap in play for Valiant and Fortress. You could double Protect, and then if you predict right, you could get a free Iron Head on one of them. But it's 4-on-1, and it's a half health King Gambit, right? It's just not enough to survive here. And I mean, okay, King Gambit goes for Protect, and Nicholas is going to sacrifice both of his Pokemon here. Close combat, not going to connect with the King Gambit, unfortunately. King Gambit, but I don't think you really need to worry about that. If these two go down, it's like, that's fine. I still have Azumarill in the back. I still have Flutter Mane in the back. Then Azumarill, just 2 Aqua Jets is pretty much all you need. Potentially 1 Aqua. But as long as you still have that Azumarill in the back, knowing that it's not Terra, you're fine. And Yeah, so we're gonna see both of these go down. We definitely. So now Nicholas could just bring in like a Azumarill and the Flutter Mane, and if Flutter Mane connects with a Moonblast, it's over. If Azumarill connects with an Aqua Jet, it may need two, but it's not. Then Flutter Mane can hit, right? So you're pretty much guaranteed two Aqua Jets. At this point, for Nicholas, you just spam Aston or Dazzling Gleam, and or Mr. Fire. It really doesn't matter. As long as whatever move you want. An Aqua Jet. I think and you could go for the Terra Block just to ensure it back out. I think that's smart. Yeah, that works too. It's the same result at the end of the day, and it's a quicker end for Tyler. If you're Tyler, you just Sucker Punch that Flutter Mane, and then kind of watches Azumarill destroys this King Gambit. Yeah, Sucker Punch, Flutter Mane, and the Fire type. Yeah, I mean you gotta. Hey, at least you gotta down to Nicholas down to one Pokemon, right? He got the opponent down, but that Terra Blast, Terra Fire we saw do 80% I believe in the last match or close to it, and that King Gambit's gonna go down, and Nicholas with now 3-2 has a chance at going top cut. And that is it. What a match. I mean, we were talking about Perish Trap being everywhere earlier. Well, this is a good example of Perish Trap being everywhere. We saw it once again. Well done to the players there. I mean, it was a wonderful battle. It was so close. I think the real deciding factor, and I think what it was that play rough early in the third game. That play rough from Screamtail just went on to that Iron Valley. I thought it was going to be enough to get it down, but it knock it out because it was already crippled a bit, but it just wasn't enough. And after that, you had just kind of wasted one of your Perish turns, and then you had to wait another turn, and that one last turn was exactly what Nicholas needed to take advantage of, and he did really well. So Nicholas may be moving on to top 8. Unfortunately, this is the end of the day for Tyler, but again, two wonderful players. We will see them again soon, I am sure. And you may see Nicholas again back on stream. And looks like that may have been the last match for our round of Swiss. So we will be seeing you very soon for top 8. Stick around for that. And anything you want to say, Emotional Support Pikachu? Pika, Pika. There you have it. See you later, guys.